Diana and I are members of the Milton Fine Arts Society, and they have an annual studio tour. We just had our studio tour this past weekend, so I thought I'd shoot a couple of videos here prior to piling up the sawdust again too much in the shop because it gets dirty pretty quick. Anyways, this is a pile of salvage lumber. There's some cherry, ash, maple, Osage orange. Over here there's Norway maple from Georgetown that I got last year. So I tend to bring this stuff into the shop every once in a while and cut it up for guitar parts. Here's more of the salvage lumber that I've got. My big bandsaw. That thing is running a 1 1/4 inch blade, so that's the same as on a portable lumber mill. So I can chop through some of that big stuff pretty quick. Big dust collector and belt sander that I have the swing arm on for making fretboards. Here's the table saw with the fine tiny little blade for cutting frets. A couple of fretboards showing the progression from raw lumber over to final finished fretboard. Various templates up here on the board. Here's an example showing a extended back and side set. This one also has some extra wood for head cap and rosette, maybe a couple of neck laminates. And this is all stuff that I cut from that pile over there. Over here you can see some more pieces that are all for various parts of guitars. Before the studio tour I go around and unplug all my tools, take away all the sharp objects and a lot of the small things. Anyways, yesterday I started to continue on this bass and got the tuners in and the nut. Around here, a couple more of my machines and the planer. Over here I got my little mini bandsaw that I use for doing some of the more detailed jobs. And over here's a couple of guitars that are coming along in the final finishing. The one on the right is needing a little bit more final sanding before I start the finish. The other one here is a 7-string telly, and it's about halfway through the finishing process. Over here, this is usually not on display like this, but I just set these guitars out for the show. And the next thing with these is to do the headstock inlays, and then I can start gluing the necks into them. Over here, another bass. This one is a fretless, and then a kit guitar that I'm finishing off for a friend of mine. And there's an old project that's been sitting around for a long time. These are molds with guitars in them. I'll start things because you get some cool wood. I just want to start bending things or cutting things. But then I get guitar commissions, and a lot of this stuff then takes second fiddle and sits around for a long time. So now I'm trying to get going on completing some of these projects. Just finished a few commissioned guitars. And here's some more instruments. That acoustic on the end is going to be the next one to have the neck glued in place. Right now it's just sitting there on the clamp. And here's some more of my stash. Up across the top here, these are all back and side sets and tops, and they're all properly stickered with a 1/4 inch spacer between each piece of wood so the humidity doesn't build up between things. Up there is more just ordinary stock. A couple of instruments need some work in the corner there. When I'm cutting all that stuff on the bandsaw, sometimes I get some pretty cool looking wood, so then I'll start to put together a guitar body of some sort. And so here's a few, starting to build up a collection, but they're all for sale, so anybody could grab any of these and say, okay, let's build that one. And through the glass door into the music room, here's a whole pile of acoustic guitars that I've built over the years. I've just finished this one, and after I finish doing the intonation on this one and create the bone saddle, it'll be done as well. There's a couple of my little mini guitars, and then up over here, yeah, those four are electric guitars I've built over the years. I'll probably be keeping that one right there, but the other three are for sale.